You have entered the Chronic's rabbit hole, and today we will be reacting to Storytime number 6, A Day in My Life with Floor Hansen.
Looking forward to it, y'all. This is the last one. As we have already said, this is the last story time. We're excited to finish off this series that she did for us during COVID, and that's really awesome. Now let's see what a day in her life was during COVID. She does to-do lists. I love it. What an intro.
Good morning and welcome to Storytime number 6. First things first in the morning, taking care of all our animals on our little farm. So we feed the dog, Fenris, and we have our 3 cats, Nala, Mio and Elsa. And of course the horses. This here is Sef's. We're going to go riding. And there is his companion, Yum Yum, my daughter's little horse. So, yeah, I would like to welcome you to this day. Follow me around a little bit and see what I'm up to on somewhat like a regular day in these pandemic times. Start my day with horseback riding. And we're out on the paddock now. Before I put on the saddle, I like to clean him a little bit, take off all the sand, see how he's doing. And it's nice to have Yum Yum, his buddy, around. It's pretty harmless, but he's a pony, so he's a bit of a... he's gonna bite and stuff if I don't keep an eye on it. So we're just gonna saddle him and we start riding. Steps is 10 years old. Beautiful Swedish warm blood. I got him since September, October last year. We started riding a lot and getting to know each other. And in the process, There are always ups and downs with horses. I bought him because I wanted to ride a little bit more, which I couldn't really do with my previous horse, Lily, that beautiful Clydesdale. And with a lot of pain in my heart, I had to say goodbye to her and find a owner more suitable for her and what she can do, and find myself for a horse that fits more to what I want to do. Well, I'm a tall girl, so this is a tall horse. And even though he bit me really horribly in the sort of the fight for who's in charge, we now have a very nice balance together. And he gets along very well with his little fellow, Yum Yum, who's right behind him, hard to see now. Oh, yeah, there we go. Come on, Yum Yum. Yeah, so instead of Lily and Auri, we now have Cephs and Yum Yum.
I just want to pause there for a second. Cephs looks a lot like my horse that I had growing up.
Oh, really? I was wondering about it, so I'm glad you paused it to bring it up.
So my horse growing up, his name was Knight, and he looked almost identical to Flora's horse, only he had a white stripe that went all the way down his nose.
Oh, cool.
And so I wanted to mention that because I loved my horse. And
how long did you have the horse? How long did you have the horse for?
A few years.
Right.
We had a 16-acre farm growing up.
Sweet.
And we agreed to take care of these horses for the owners. It was a couple of horses. And they never came back.
Rough.
And so
wow.
We just ended up with 2 horses.
Okay.
And we hadn't actually ever had horses at that time, so it was a brand new learning experience for us. And Knight was actually a stallion, so he wasn't fixed or anything, and he was very wild, and so he was a lot to handle. I managed to ride him once.
Did he bite you?
He kicked out my shoulder.
He kicked out your shoulder. Yeah. So maybe, is that something that happens a lot where there's that dominance battle?
There's a huge dominance battle with horses. At least
cool. I didn't know that really. Okay.
Horses have so much personality, and there is a dominance battle of no, I'm the owner of this area, or this is my paddock, this is my land.
I see.
Very much. Our horse Knight would do laps, and we had to actually separate the horses from the cows because he became the most dominant and wouldn't even let the cows in where he was.
Oh, wow.
So we had it was definitely fun. And he knocked down our electric fence and charged the house once. He was very dominant battle, lots of them. We ended up having to rehome him to someone who was more suited.
Okay.
Because we weren't.
Sounds good.
Auri was too young and too big for Freya and too small for me. So instead we have a small companion to a big horse, and also a riding companion to Freya if she would like to. She's only 4 years old, so no pressure there, but he's great. He's fun to train with and fun to hang with.
Cool.
Hey, Yummies. Hi, Pussy. Hey. Yeah. And he likes to chase the dog. Hi. Kom du göra? Vill du berätta lite? When you put a saddle on a horse, you want to make sure that there's no pressure on their back anywhere. Especially up here. A lot of horses are not too fond of the whole process. Worst of all, the thing that goes under their bellies, because, you can understand why. Can't be too nice. This is a dressage saddle. I don't always only ride dressage. I actually like to jump also. But we haven't really come that much together since he's not so trained in jumping, and neither am I. But hey, we can do some basics. But today it's going to be more dressage.
Cool.
Yum Yum. Yes, thank you. With horses, it's important there's a lot of safety involved. So I actually have safety stirrups. So if I would fall off, my foot is still stuck, it can still come out. I'm going to be putting on my safety vest and my riding helmet because this is beautiful, but it's not going to really protect my head if anything would happen. So I'll put that on as well.
It is a nice hat.
Now I'm wearing my super fancy riding vest. This here is pretty soft at the moment, but if I would fall on impact, it gets hard, so it protects my spine. And the fancy helmets, of course. I try to ride 5 times a week, but in reality, it's very hard to keep that up. Since I do work, since I do
A little bit.
have a child, and since I do have the weather against me at times, also because we have the riding paddock outside, which is fantastic luxury. But when it's super wet, a little bit harder, very cold, a little bit harder. Now it's pretty dry, so it's going to be dusting up quite a bit, but well, I suppose there's always something. But we're doing pretty well with the riding, and now that I'm physically capable again after he bit me and after my surgery, we're just gonna pick the pace back up, right? Yes. We're all set, time to ride. Talk a bit later. That was the morning time
Please let us know what song that was from.
for a little bit of lunch, some coffee, and time to start to work a little bit, get the vocal cords out, train them a bit, and on with the rest of the day.
Nice, I love it.
Welcome back to Storytime. Today I thought it would be nice to show you how a day in my life looks like at the moment. Now I start with a cup of coffee and some breakfast, jump out to feed the horses, the cats, our dog. You haven't met the dog yet, that's Fenris, our Irish wolf dog. He's only a puppy, believe it or not, 7 months old. You have not been seeing the cats since last story time. If you didn't check it out, go check out, because we got the cutest cat babies last August. And we had 5 little ones. 2 still live here, Mio and Elsa, and they grew all up, and they're very cute. Of course, they all need their food. And well, if I can start my day horseback riding, doesn't get more perfect than that. I love to sing, to get, to train the voice, learn new songs if I'm going to do maybe a new YouTube song, or prepare for a show, as I did lately for the whole virtual show. It was fantastic to dive back into all the Nightwish songs.
Something I want to know from everyone is, what do you like to do in the mornings? Something I'm really happy to know Flor likes to do is to see her animals. And one of the things I just love to do is get up in the morning, and we don't have outdoor cats. So I at least go out with them for 5 minutes, and it's just such a nice little time to have that moment with them, and it's just cool that she even does that too.
We haven't played a show in 2.5 years, so to just get back into that was fantastic to to rehearse and all of that. And yeah, I mean, these days we've really, since last summer, have been working a lot on my solo stuff and on YouTube. And yeah, it's been very nice to do that. But as much as I love being home, I would love to go back out on the road and really start playing shows with you guys as an audience. So it's really nice to see that things are slowly but surely moving towards that being possible. And yeah, have my day-to-day life changing a little bit from only being home drinking my coffee by myself or with my family to being on the road somewhere. I can't wait. So the last time we talked, it was the end of the summer. I just harvested my crops, as you saw in the earlier story times. I was having little seeds that became little plants, and in the end we had fantastic carrots and potatoes, beans, lots of green cabbage, and well, it was really nice to have done that. I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to do it this spring, because usually I'm not home often enough to really keep it up, but well, we started over, which is wonderful. I'm going to show you later on. And yeah, I guess in the fall, it was some work on YouTube, some work on the solo album. And I went to the Netherlands for this televisiergala thing, which was very exciting to do. I never been to anything like it. It was a unique experience. And from there, winter started. And as it gets pretty cold and dark up here, it really did. It was also a little bit harder to be at home, I have to admit. But fortunately, we had a lot of snow, so fantastically beautiful. In the very beginning of the season, we even went snowboarding, which is a yearly thing we'd like to do at least one time. We didn't really want to go when there were too many other people for obvious reasons, but just get out was very, very nice. And yeah, I mean, it did give all the chance to continue working on feeding the YouTube channel and writing and thinking more about how the solo album is gonna look like, sound like, etc. So yeah, that was basically the whole winter. Without any further events, we jumped back into spring, and that was just wonderful to see again everything go from white to grey to green. And that's where we are right now. And together with that promise of new life, we see the promise of vaccination and the promise of shows and nice things happening. So we go for that. So I told you that the winter was pretty uneventful, apart from, of course, Marco leaving Nightwish. That was a very sudden surprise. Yeah, of course, it was not fun at all. But I understand it was a necessary thing for him to do, and from there we had to think of how to continue without him, and that also in preparations towards the virtual show. That was a huge challenge, and I'm very happy we found Jukkis to play with us, and it was wonderful to get together. Even though we missed Marco in April to start rehearsing for these virtual shows. Fortunately, we had a lot of time together, and it was very nice to go through the process of really, not just knowing how to sing or play the songs, but actually really feeling them, really, communicating them as you do with a show. We did that together, and then of course came the relatively unnatural setting of standing in a green bathroom.
Yeah.
Called the green screens all around us and cameras and people going for coffee instead of a real life audience. But that was really great. We had so much time that we could rehearse all of that and had a lot of fun doing that in the process. I can't sit here all day and talk and drink coffee, so I better get a move on and start singing.
What I just love about her is how she has her day set up so perfectly, and they're all so meaningful, and it's all contributing to what she wants to do with herself as the band and as the family. And she's such a good leader, And it's just awesome to see some of these ways that she's keeping organized and moving forward. And it's definitely some tips I can learn.
No child, we need a stranger, poor outside. How's the heart while it still beats? Ask to no one, another John Doe. Sorrow hides well in your shell, a fellow man with her to spare. Dear one, here I am to share the fear, an act of kindness without a name, and holds the hand underneath the silence, holds the warm, drowning in the fire. Let us sound with you, Maria. Come in the fire's warm, burn the hope and then some more.
Preferably every day. I like to.
Please let me know what song that is. I think that's from her solo.
I think so, yeah.
Because I really want to know what song that is.
We're looking forward to checking out her new solo that's coming out on Friday, actually, her new release. So stay tuned for that, because we're going to definitely react to that one.
Sing at least a little bit to keep the voice in shape. It is a muscle after all, and so is the whole machine that keeps it going. So either it's a little bit of exercises and a song, or just the exercises, or it depends on where I'm preparing for. But of course, for like these virtual shows we just did, or for a tour, I want to make sure that my voice is in a good enough shape to survive a 2-hour Nightwish set. And that requires work, just keep it in shape. Or I'm going to be preparing for a new song for YouTube, or any other new song that I'm going to be practicing. I do that in here in the studio, first with a little warm up, and then I go ahead with a song. Sometimes I even just warm up with a song because that song sits very well. I'm familiar with it, and then it just goes much faster to get the shape and get good to go mood. When I start singing, I like to warm up the voice, and usually sing a song that I already know, that I've been singing more often, so that based on like muscle memory, the voice really gets started. It's much harder to start singing a song you never did, even if maybe the warm-up song is essentially harder to sing than the new song, just by muscle memory. Like Ghost Love Score for me became, well, I wouldn't say easy, but it sits so much in my system that is a song I can probably sing any day, while a new song that is way less hard to do demands more of my energy. But that's, like I said, based on muscle memory, and I would not choose Ghost Love Score as a warm-up song, obviously, but Alanna, for instance, is definitely a nice song for me to get started and, get me in a good mood, obviously. For these virtual shows, I had a whole new challenge, not just learning or relearning the things that I'd been singing in the past, either already live or for the new songs of the Human Nature album. But now I was also challenged by singing some of the parts that Marco used to sing. We chose to divide his parts over Troy and myself, and see if we could find a balance there that would work. And of course, there's no point in imitating somebody. Just like with Annette's songs or Tarja's songs, it makes no sense for me to try and sing like them. So also now singing the parts that Marco used to sing, it takes a little bit of time to give it my own twist. And that's just by doing it. And that was a lovely challenge, actually. A sad one, because you always know in the back of your head why you're doing it. Yeah. But at the same time, musically, very cool, because there were a lot of very, very cool parts to sink my teeth into. So that was a new challenge, not just doing everything already for these virtual shows as I was supposed to do, but also filling that gap.
It's just something I gotta give props to Floor, is her ability to not cause any controversy with how she sings another person's part.
Yes.
It's like a comedian knowing how to make a joke without actually offending someone.
Mm-hmm.
She knows how to continue things on, like, without taking Annette's or Taria's or Marco's own version of how to sing it, and she completely just goes away and does her own twist. And I think that's brilliant. It shows how much creative juices this girl has.
100%.
And well, he is still missed, but it was really fun to do. So the work is done. My to-do list. Anyway, there's always something to do when you live like we do, and well, it's nice to pick up growing some veggies again, as we did last season. I wasn't sure if we were gonna be able to do that, because usually when we travel every now and then, it's kind of hard to water, you know, every day or every week, depending on the amount of rain that you get. But it's also a lovely end of the day when things are done. Now, maybe I skipped those emails today, but usually when I do all these kinds of things, it's so nice to just come outside and do something that does not require too much brain activity. Be outside in nature. Hell, if there's anything that this pandemic taught me, is that even when I go back on tour, when everything is going to roll again, I would love to continue being outside, even on tour. Spend my off days in a small hotel somewhere at the edge of a wood, or at the edge of a field where I can go outside and have the input of nature and not the input of a busy city. And it's so nice to have my energy back. You guys probably know that I've had this surgery where they removed my gallbladder, and after the surgery was done and done very well, I recovered very well, and I thought, yes, so okay, now I'm back in action, and I started doing a lot of things. I started doing a bit too many things, and after a while my body said, you know what, you were too fast, take a little bit more. And that made preparing for the Nightwish virtual shows very difficult, because, well, both physically as mentally, I was pretty low. So I had to listen to that and travel to Finland, and not as prepared as I usually would be. But it was very nice to notice that while I was rehearsing with the guys in Finland, and everything was coming together with the whole virtual world shaping around us and getting back into my beautiful outfits, that energy did start to come, and well, also the mental energy to remember all the lyrics and deal with everything, to then have a very energetic, super fun virtual show. I'm so grateful so many people, I mean 150,000 people joined, so if you were there, thanks for that support. And well, as I said earlier, now it's onwards to the real stuff, but for now I'll be just at home farming. You know what, here, come and check these out, by the way. Ta-da! They went pretty big. Last year we harvested potatoes and carrots. We had just like this, green cabbage. I have a little bit of an image to show because, well, in the last story time I was filming my crops, and then all of a sudden, you know, we harvested it. We already ate it, obviously. And now we started over. So if you're into that kind of stuff, they're pretty easy actually to grow, and they grow like weeds. And they're good. And we even managed to eat it before the local insects did. Because, of course, they always like what we like. And then there are a lot of deer here that eat everybody's tulips. But I'm so far able to actually grow our own tulips, our own Nightwish tulips.
Nice.
That will soon come out on the market. They're out now in Finland. And hopefully in the next season more will come. But for now, I'm going to be dealing with this, and I'll be walking the dog in a little bit. Then it's time for dinner and an easygoing night. Good day. Thank you so much for watching episode 6. I hope you enjoyed following me around a little bit, a day in my life. this is sort of how days look like. And of course I do work. I will do my emails tomorrow, I promise. I'm looking forward to episode 7, since there is a little bit more to tell now as we're slowly but surely getting out of this pandemic. But thank you for now for watching. If you didn't subscribe already, please do so. New merchandise is available actually in my merchandise shop. If you haven't checked it out, please do. It's fun, and well, have a lovely summer and take care. Stay healthy. Bye.
Thanks, Floor. She is so much about fan service. It's amazing.
So that was story time number 6. Floor did say that she had a number 7.
Did she?
And at the very end there,
Oh,
that she was
okay.
excited to see us for number 7.
Okay.
So I'm curious to see if there is a number 7. I love this. I love seeing a day in Floor's life. I know Kyle was excited about the list because he's always making lists.
Yes.
We have Kyle's to-do
I
list.
have my own to-do list, y'all. It's a little more crazy, but
And then he has so many of these just full of to-do lists. So that was something that I just knew immediately was going to make him very happy.
very excited.
I also wanted to mention that was really cool at the very start when she started her video that she was in the garage
Yeah.
that they had just had redone. So the last story
Yeah, it was a
time
nice
we-
transition for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The last story time we had seen, she had just had her garage redone.
From Alpha there.
From Alpha.
Yeah.
And so seeing it starting in there just was such a nice nod to what had just happened.
Yeah.
And then expressing kind of that it is a very functional and usable space for her and her family. And then also getting to hear about her horses and that the Clydesdale, because I was in love with that Clydesdale when I first saw
Yeah.
it.
And you called it what type it was.
I was like, I think that's that one. And so knowing that it is bittersweet that
Gotta
she
part
had
ways,
to
yeah.
part ways with her Clydesdale, but that she has a new horse that suits her lifestyle a lot more. And the two of them were connecting so well, as you could see. How he let her brush him and just put the saddle on, and horses don't really like saddles typically.
No, not at all, apparently.
So that was just really cool to see that interaction between her and her horses, and the little tiny pony for her daughter. I love this. This is an amazing day in the life.
And what's cool is, like, I think Hanez the whole time is filming, I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
And, like, he's just such a shy guy, you know? So it's so cool that he just lets her have this whole spotlight, and he doesn't need to be in any moment. And he just loves what she does. And what I just find so interesting, though, is now that we have, like, YouTube and all that, you saw maybe she wasn't using YouTube as much before the pandemic. And not every band takes advantage of all those other social medias, but now that you see someone like Floor Jansen is doing it, everyone really can do YouTube, and it's just crazy because even I've started and now you're starting, and it's just, if you guys ever don't think you can start one, it's really something anyone can do, because as you're seeing, just everyone has something to give, And if you don't think you have something to give, like, look at even Floor when she's not performing, she's used to putting out stuff like that. She even found a way to keep moving just her day in life stuff, and she's just showing herself. And sometimes that's all you need to do to find out if someone's actually interested in what you're doing. And it's good to put yourself out there, and she does. And it's just interesting because that wasn't how it was before, and there was a bit more mystique with the people you started idolizing and seeing, because you couldn't interact with these people as easily before. So the accessibility is also interesting, because I don't know if it removes some of the mystique with some of these other legends from the past where you never could interact with them as easily, but I'm happy you can now. And it's awesome. And she also mentioned at the end about her emails, and I know all about that because of the comments, and sometimes I take a couple days to get back to it, and it just keeps piling up. So it's definitely something you want to keep on top. So I get her joke there at the end there.
We're not even going to take a conversation about my inbox.
Yeah. How's the baby doing, honey?
Baby started kicking pretty hard about 3/4 of the way through the film.
Right. Yeah.
So if I looked like I was a little bit uncomfortable, I was. But he's moving. He's quite low now. So end of the month, beginning of next month, baby is coming. So we're just waiting now.
We're very excited, and we hope you guys enjoyed the time with us, though. If you guys had a great time, hit that like button, subscribe if you have not. If you already have, thank you guys so much. We hope you're enjoying this Nightwish New Year's. We're having a great time with it, and if you hit that notification bell, you'll be there at the next premiere. We're having a good time there as well. We are now exiting the rabbit hole, folks. Hope you guys have a great night, day, or whatever else it is. Peace and love, y'all.
Peace and love, everyone. Take care.
God bless.
Bye for now.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Enter the Chronicness.
Special shout out to all of our patrons and YouTube members. We appreciate all of your support.